Hello and welcome to our latest unboxing video. I'm Eliza and this is
Amber.
And today we have adult books. We have fiction, nonfiction, and audiobooks, which we will try to pair with their print books if we have a match that way. And then we'll do the rest of the audiobooks at the end. So yes, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, and we apologize in advance if the audio is patchy or a little bit weird, but hopefully you can hear both of us.
I'm hoping everybody living in our society right now will be very sympathetic with the idea of Zoom difficulties. It seems to be.
Yes. So the first book, speaking of a sympathetic society, is called Too Much and Never Enough: How My Family Created the World's Most Dangerous Man by Mary L. Trump. Is it about Donald Trump?
She's his niece. And we do have a matching audiobook for this one. So lots of people want this. There's lots of personal stories about her experiences with him and about their family.
Yeah. So there you go. Put a hold on it today.
Patterson!
She got Patterson.
The audio of First Case, which is a thriller.
You know, I would be shocked if he started writing romances. Like, give us something new, Patterson. Something
I feel like he does sometimes dabble in different genres.
Like with the teen books that he helps with, I think. Maybe a little different. I don't know. Susan Wiggs, The Lost and Found Bookshop. This sounds familiar. Like maybe we already have the audio or...
Yeah.
It's about a bookshop and a tragedy, and I think that there might be some romance, revelations, family, future. It's gonna be like a feel-good book.
I have this one called Begin Again by Eddie S. Glaude Jr. And it's actually about James Baldwin. And
like a nonfiction?
Yes, it is nonfiction. And it's sort of looking at James Baldwin's roles in the civil rights movement and then sort of paralleling it with what's going on in the United States now. So it's a really well-reviewed book. I think a lot of people, these are really topical issues, so.
What You Wish For by Katherine Center. I really like the cover. I like flowery covers. A school librarian who has a great life, but it wasn't always that way. And a principal who lives by rules and regulations, but wasn't always that way.
So scandalous, a librarian and a principal.
Yeah, it's about the school community spiraling into chaos. We wouldn't know anything about that right now.
Also topical.
Right. So romance and school chaos. You know, that sounds interesting.
Maybe if the school is really, really chaotic, it will make us feel better about our own current situation.
That's what books can do, right? Escape into a different world.
I'm really excited about this one. This is called The Mist by Ragnar Jonasson, who I think is Icelandic. Yes,
He's done others. He just recently did another one.
I think this is his new one. Last year he did one called The Island.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, The Island.
And
it's still popular.
He brought it on vacation with me, and even though it was really thick, I read it all the first day, which was really crazy. And then afterwards, there was this thing in the library where people kept coming in and being like, I'm looking for a mystery. And then I would just hand it to them, and then they would bring it back and be like, that was so good. And then another person would come in and be like, I'm looking for a mystery. And I would just give it to them. So
the same one.
I think I personally sent it off with someone 5 times and everybody gave me positive feedback. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I hope I haven't raised expectations too much. But.
Cool. Is it a thriller mystery or just a nice?
I feel somewhere in between. Definitely not a cozy.
Okay.
And with a lot of character stuff.
Okay.
So Definitely not just like a page turner. Everybody's running around like crazy the whole time.
Good to know. The next is The Wife Who Knew Too Much by Michele Campbell. I'm guessing it's a thriller. Look at this cover.
Ooh, creepy.
Oh, meet the first Mrs. Ford, meet the second Mrs. Ford, and then get to know the husband, I guess.
Huh.
Yeah, a decadent summer thriller. So a good way to end the summer, I guess. I feel like thrillers.
Look, I have another match, The Pull of the Stars. This is by Emma Donoghue, who wrote Room, which was just super, super mega popular. And since then, she's written a few more books that haven't been as popular, but she has still a loyal fan base. And this is historical fiction set in Ireland. Woo! Right at the beginning of World War I in a maternity ward. That sounds really stressful.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. It's right at the beginning of the smallpox epidemic. That sounds really stressful.
Well, the book Room that she wrote, was that based on the movie Room?
No, it was the movie Room was based on her book.
Right, right. So that was stressful.
That was a really stressful book. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. I don't want to get too stressed out. But sometimes there's good, like if you're experiencing something like a pandemic, say, sometimes it's actually good to read about one because it sort of helps you work through your own.
It's true. Utopia Avenue by David Mitchell. He wrote Cloud Atlas and the Bone Clocks.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting title. He sounds familiar.
I think sometimes he does like more like he might have a science fiction or fantasy element to his work, but I think this one is just like straight up people.
So it's about an emerging British band in the 60s. I mean, it's fiction, but it looks like there's a lot going on.
I think that's one thing about his books is there's always a lot going on.
Yeah, like music, madness, idealism, and it's like, for some reason it feels a lot heavier than the other books. So if you want to like really bite into something, I guess.
Maybe they just use the good paper. The Eighth Detective by Alex Pavesi. This is kind of funny because we just had another mystery novel called 8 Perfect Murders. So maybe 8 is like the number of the summer.
It's a mystery number.
I don't think this is part of a series. It says it's a love letter to classic detective stories with a modern twist. The main character is a mathematics professor.
Let's Never Talk About This Again by Sara Faith Alterman.
That's such a good title.
It's a darkly funny and deeply moving memoir about love, loss, Alzheimer's, and reviving a father's raunchy writing career.
I have to say, your screen is like just a tiny bit fuzzy, and I really cannot tell what's on that cover. It looks very strange.
It's like a white gorilla that's upside down. It's short, but it sounds odd.
Yeah.
So.
Caste, The Origins of Our Discontents. This is another heavy one. I think they used the good paper. It says Oprah's Book Club 2020. It's by Isabel Wilkerson, who is a winner of the Pulitzer Prize. And it's actually looking at the caste system in India and comparing it to racism in the United States and seeing how like maybe there's more similarities than we would think. So a little more on the academic side, but this is such a topical issue, and I think that people are going to be interested.
Sounds interesting. Guillermo del Toro's book Chuck Hogan, The Hollow Ones. I'm not sure what the title of this is. Is it like a series in The Hollow One? No,
I think it's just The Hollow Ones. I think those are the 2 authors. It is a little confusing.
Oh, Chuck Hogan. Okay, he's one of the. Okay, so it's called The Hollow Ones. Yeah. The Blackwood Tapes, Volume 1. Okay, I'm like very confused by this cover. A horrific crime defies ordinary explanation. FBI agent in uncharted territory. An extraordinary hero for the ages.
We don't have quite as much of a market for horror fiction as we do for like horror movies, but I don't know. This one I think is going to be popular.
Well, the fact that they kind of included an FBI agent maybe will make it more thrillery, so it can appeal to more people. Hopefully, maybe that's, I don't know who Chuck Hogan is, but maybe he's yeah, I don't know. He might actually be kind of horror also. Well, you know, just read it and find out. That's all I got.
I've got the latest Stuart Woods. I should say that one thing with the pandemic and the library building being closed and like having people request from the outside is I've just maybe had like more patrons requesting directly through me, and it's just made me realize just how popular Stuart Woods is. Like so many people want Stuart Woods' books. Yeah, he's the winner. I don't know.
And we also have that in large print already in our collection.
Yeah, and they come out on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Writes a lot of books.
This is Your Brain on Food, an indispensable guide to the surprising foods that fight a whole bunch of stuff, by Naidoo. So it's how to eat for mental health, which is different than all the books that tell you to eat for physical health. Insomnia and fatigue, obsessive compulsive disorder, dementia, PTSD, anxiety. So that's interesting, like a new information.
The Beauty in Breaking, a memoir by Michele Harper, and this is I think a surprisingly popular book, a sleeper hit that's about a Black woman who's an emergency room physician in DC, and this is just about, I think, her experiences and society, stuff like
that. His and Hers by Alice Feeney. There's a super creepy looking cover. It's just got like tree branches on it.
I love how thrillers manage to make really innocuous phrases like his and hers, like just like, ugh.
Well, there are two sides to every story, which means someone is always lying. There's a chief inspector. It's a fast-paced thriller with a killer twist, so it definitely has an audience here.
Oh my God, I have another James Patterson.
You thought you were done. I have one last book. It's called Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I actually really like that title and the cover.
So
it's kind of dark and seductive.
I read this book and it was really good. I was really into it. Yep, I like the characters and the settings. It's definitely like slightly like old-fashioned style because it's like imitating the classic Gothic novel, but really fun to read.
Cool. Yeah, it says it takes place in the 1950s Mexico. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
I have one more book, The Safe Place by Anna Downs. Again, with taking innocuous phrase and making it creepy. I'm guessing it's not really safe. This is about a woman her life fell apart and then she gets a summer job as a housekeeper on a beautiful French estate with a perfect family, except maybe they're not so perfect. Just gonna go out on a limb and say things aren't really perfect.
Always a catch.
Okay, wait, I have 4 audiobooks. I'm just gonna go through them real quick. I think that they're all books we already have. My Vanishing Country, a memoir by Bakari Sellers. This we already have in our collection. And then it's sort of about working class Black people in the South. And then this is Fast Girls by Elise Hooper. And it's like historical fiction about female Olympians. The End of Her, which is a thriller by Sherry Lapina, and Half Moon Bay by Jonathan Kellerman. So that's all we have for today, but we appreciate you watching, and we will definitely have more videos soon. Bye.
Bye, guys.